guys, welcome back to Small Time Critics. I am 1/3 of Small Time Critics. My name is Mohammed Hashi, and Mo and Kim aren't here today. Hopefully they come back soon. I'm joking. But we've got a great episode for you guys today, and we have the great Gaz from Post Credit Scene Podcast.
Yeah.
He's going to be my guest host today. You know what I mean? He's coming in the 11th hour. He's my guy. He said yes straight away. You know what I mean?
Man.
What a guy. By the way, the best approval rating on Post Credit Scene Podcast that we found out at the live show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
people like the episode, you know.
It was a wonderful episode. The live show was the vibes were incredible.
Appreciate you, man.
It was just a great night, man. Honestly, it was like I was privileged to be there to get the invite. But yeah, man, that was fantastic.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you so much for coming down, to be honest. Yeah, appreciate it.
No worries. And we have two incredible guests for you today. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to first start with the returning champion. We've got my guy, TRIZLUCENT. You know what I mean? The king of pop culture. You know what I'm saying?
What's up?
Remember that, the king of pop culture. He's everywhere. He's on Insta. He's on TikTok. He's on he's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's everywhere. And he's at every single event you can imagine. So, like, watch out for him. He's got big things coming up soon as well. And I would be remiss if I did not mention our second guest. We've got a guy that's the king of streetwear. It's FD from the future.
Come on.
Again, like this guy, he's in Paris. He's in New York. He's everywhere. I'm shocked he even made it here, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I mean, so big up to you, man. I appreciate you coming down. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate, man. Appreciate what you lot do. Guys to be here. Obviously, like I said, I'm in Tris's world right now. We're about to get into it, man. But I'm gassed, you know.
Don't worry, bro. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
So we're here, man. We're here. Live-o. Let's do it, man.
Fantastic, guys. So we
great intro, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. Now, to be fair, I'm normally not the host usually. Mo.
You're trying to still Mo.
I think I'm doing pretty well, man. Already.
Come on.
All right. So as you can see from the obviously from the thumbnail, we are starting off by talking about Deadpool Wolverine.
Let's fucking go.
And we're gonna try and kind of like ease our way into it. We're gonna do like a spoiler kind of free, kind of first kind of take on the film, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we will start with you, Triz. What was your kind of like, what was your thoughts on the film? Having watched it twice now.
What? So I saw it the whatever, the multimedia screening.
Yeah.
And then that was like 7.
Yeah.
Then I saw it again at midnight the same day.
Yeah.
So
Sicko.
yeah, I know. So I feel like I don't know if I loved it as much as everyone else did because I saw it twice. Not that that's a problem, but for me,
it's a bit much, isn't it?
It was a lot
to watch that twice on one day.
It was a lot, like in the space of like an hour or 2 hours. Yeah,
especially if he wasn't like gassed about it.
But spoiler free, fun film. Can't really go wrong when it comes to Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Are we doing a spoiler free thing?
Yeah, spoiler free.
To start.
Okay, bet.
So don't go saying too much this year. But for me, we've spoken. You know what I mean, off air and things like that. The story just for me is just too weak. That's the real problem when it comes to this film. But it is fun. It's a great time, great ride. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But it's just it's just too discombobulated. There's just not a real presence of a villain. There's not a real presence of any continuity between whatever happens like before this to where it's going after this. So for me, it's a fun movie, and if you just want to have a good time, popcorn, that's it. That's that kind of movie.
FD, what are you saying, bro?
You know what's mad, yeah? My boy Shumba, he shouted me the other day and he said, "How was Deadpool and Wolverine without giving it away?"
Yeah.
So this is what I said to him, yeah. Overall, it's a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. It's corny plus cringy, but this is how Marvel and Deadpool is.
Yeah.
It's a bit more funnier than the other Deadpools. Like, I thought it was a bit more, it's a bit more jokes, because the other ones were I didn't really like the comedy in it.
Fair enough.
But I said the cameos were nuts. I screamed bear.
Right.
A lot of potential, but the storyline was not strong, but the fight scenes were amazing. It's hella gory. That's what I said.
This guy's a film critic, man.
That's a good.
He's an corner, I guess.
Because I didn't want to give it away. I didn't want to give it away.
That's
but when we give it away, I'm about to, because I have some points that were exciting.
Go on, guys.
Nothing to really differentiate from what the guy said. You know, I think they nailed it. It's a fun film. If you enjoy, I think it's in a sense it's a homage to a lot of the comic book films from yesteryear, which was a nice touch.
Yeah.
And so maybe some of those characters, without spoiling, that didn't get either their shine or an opportunity to portray certain characters that they really wanted to. It was a nice touch in that instance.
Yeah.
I think if Marvel had produced some more well-written films in like the last 3 or 4 years, this film would get more of a pass for me for being what it was in terms of what you mentioned, the lack of story.
Yeah.
But because I'd say there's been more misses than hits, for me, I judge this film more because I expected more.
Yeah.
But that's not just because it's Deadpool and Wolverine and because they're great characters. It's also because the previous films haven't been great. You've got 2 great characters, especially Wolverine, someone that you can really dive into in terms of story. And it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah. So for me, again, just echoing a lot of what you guys have said, I think watching it second time, I felt even more down in the film because once obviously the shock of a lot of the cameos and stuff like that and a lot of the jokes kind of, you know what I mean, once that kind of passes, you've got a film that's going to probably age very, very badly because a lot of the kind of references are like right now in regards to references.
Right,
you know what I mean? And obviously movies done this before, like referencing the times that they've been filmed and stuff like that. But it's to a point where it's just not going to age well. Like, are people's kids and stuff like that, are they going to kind of get these references, you know what I mean, in 10 years' time, you know, and stuff like that?
I would argue, though, to an extent, this film, you make a great point. We all have, I think, actually.
Yeah.
But I think this film's done what it's needed to do.
For right now.
As it stands to get, and I think that's kind of how certain sort of characters that have returned, we'll talk about, I assume, later on.
Yes.
Certain actors, shall I say.
Yes.
They're using it to get to a point.
Yeah.
So they're using this film, it's like let's get the people back in.
Yes.
Just so we can make a fun film, a good film, quotation marks. Let's get people back in, because people weren't in for the last release, which was the Marvels.
No one showed up for that one.
So they've got people back in. So now how they translate that to the next film, which I think is Captain America or Brave New World.
Brave New World, yeah. But Agatha's coming out before that. Agatha.
The series,
The series
next month.
coming
All along, Agatha all along, yeah.
So I was saying to my girl the other day, when we watched it, because like for someone like me who's not so like in tune with the MCU, all of that, I was saying to her like, because she was confused about all these people, innit? And I was saying to her like, at the end of the film, I said, this didn't really feel like I needed to, like, I didn't need to watch this for the
continuity.
You know, like, because they say, oh, you need to watch everyone in order. But that one, it just felt like you said, a fun film. Yeah, it didn't really have any, even after credits, bro.
Yeah,
there was nothing, bro. Like, no one got up out their seat, and I was like, yeah, these are, remember. And then, like, I watched it, I was like, bro, that was it.
Yeah.
Like,
now, you know what I'll say one of my biggest problems was because the fact that, and this was in the trailers, but you know, we had a lot of characters from the X-Men universe, so a lot of people from like the 2000s X-Men, Pyro,
Cold,
which was a good cameo, by the way. But like, what's the female like Wolverine?
X-23?
No, that's a spoiler. Not her.
The girl.
That's the daughter.
The young girl.
No, the female Wolverine, the one that was made.
To be fair, she was in the
she's in the trailer. Alright, X-23.
So I think we're okay.
Alright.
Oh yeah, to be fair.
She was in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know when you had Stryker and then Wolverine went back to the lab, Lady Deathstrike.
Yeah, that was X2, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that.
Alright, the female one. Alright, cool. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But you had her. She was in there like lurking around. All these leaks of all these characters, and it's like none of them got any shine. Not one of them. Not one of them had any impact to the story at all. And if anything, you could barely see them in the background. So that was one of my problems, where it was like, what was the whole big deal of bringing back all the original people to cameo these people to have nothing, like them have no impact to the movie?
Yeah. Something I mentioned actually in my written review for this as well. But anyway, guys, you want to make a point?
It's gone.
It's gone. No worries. I think on that note, we'll probably just briefly discuss like this movie is making money. And it's kind of as we kind of predicted. I think beforehand we spoke about the fact that the kind of like, especially the comic book fans, they were starving for a film like this. You know what I'm saying? And this was going to always make money.
Was this an actual comic?
Well,
yeah.
Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and now I think it's on course, obviously, to make $1 billion by, I think, next week. Yeah. And
You said that and I cost you out, innit?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
I mean, it did 500k and I think like.
But is that
5
because
days.
of like just sales or is that merch as well? Because they've been killing off that merch.
That
bro.
merch is separate to merch. This is just ticket sales. This is box
yeah.
office only. You know? So
Can
I
I swear,
think,
by the way?
yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
And I think my prediction is still 1.3. I think everything Lowry said 1.5.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see
Where
where
it
it is
lands.
at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you think this is a good sign for Marvel, or do you think this is just like a
You
flash
can't
in
read
the
too much into it.
yeah.
See, I got a different take to that. I think the DC's acquisition of James Gunn does play such a massive part because now that you've got Superman or whatever it's called, Superman or Superman Legacy, whatever they've decided to call it, coming out in 2025, it's like that's been the whole hype. That's been the whole big thing. Like James Gunn's got this. James Gunn's working on this. James Gunn's working on that. So it's like,
And he talks a lot as well.
Exactly. He's very vocal on
lot,
social
man.
media. Very. So it's like I feel like Kevin Feige's been sitting there thinking we got to think of something that's gonna, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna game change everything.
Yeah.
And I was gonna save this one to my save this one for our conversation later, but like I'll say it now anyway. But for example, because obviously James Gunn was, I guess, one of the people teed up maybe to take over from Kevin Feige.
Right.
Yes.
I feel like Ryan Reynolds potentially, I don't know how big he is on comic books, but that would be the kind of marketing person you would want in that chair after Kevin Feige.
That is a crazy. That is
Because the way that he's, I guess his links to just everything in general in terms of like who he can call up and just be like, yo, I need you for something. Let's make it work. That kind of thing. That kind of power. Just even the interest in, like, he's got a comic book interest because even the movie that he's made, the jokes, everything. I'm not saying everything lands, but just everything in total, having that kind of creativity sitting in that chair, you know, that he can make anything
I
happen.
think that would be a big risk, but I think you want to keep someone like him
Close.
as close as possible.
Yeah.
That would be a huge risk to take over from Kevin, though.
That's mad. It's
I mean,
mad.
Not even like it's a bad. I think you're right in the sense of his star power, his ability to bring people together.
But also his marketing capabilities, because again, he's made loads of businesses that have been extremely successful.
Yeah, bro, he's
And
got
it's
the
all-
alcohol, he's got the Mint Mobile,
Yeah.
Wrexham.
Wrexham, you know what I'm saying? There's even that's a spoiler, but yeah.
But this guy's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
That's the thing with him. And to be fair, it's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout,
No, it's
honestly.
not, it's not.
You know what I mean? And also, he's got a huge, as you spoke about on our preview episode that we did on your podcast, he's got a huge love for his character, Wade Wilson and stuff like that. And he said he always wanted to do all that kind of stuff. So it's a good.
I mean, it's a
player.
passion project for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making his character become a reality, and it's been
10
10 years in the making.
Yeah.
It was funny. I went through his IMDb and checked just how many Deadpool things he's actually done. He's done so many Deadpool, like all these little short films.
It's the Christmas one I watched recently.
I can't even believe how many things he's done. So I didn't even know he was that engrossed in his character.
Let me ask you something, because what do you actually think about Deadpool, like in terms of the films? Because I've never actually liked them, innit? Like I thought they were bare corny.
I think
Because Marvel a lot of the time can be very corny, but Deadpool is the corniest.
I think that's the character, innit? In general. It's essence of the character, innit?
That's why I didn't even see the second one because I just thought the
Okay.
second one was just
The second
jarring,
one is
bro.
definitely nothing that you didn't miss out on anything
Yeah,
with that
because
one.
I watched the third one. Well, I guess it's the third one, right? I watched this thinking like, bro, I didn't even need to see the previous one.
You did, but I think
Because they flashback. I mean, is that a spoiler?
what?
Flashbacks enough in the film. Do you know what I'm saying? To see what happened.
I'd give that one to Sean Levy, the director. The fact that I remember him saying you don't need to watch anything to watch this movie and
He did
enjoy
say
it.
that, yeah.
I mean, which is still kind of a lie.
But that's kind of
Yes.
like.
You get spoilers.
But isn't that what Marvel is known for? Like you have to watch the previous ones to kind of know.
No, you do.
It means more.
Yeah.
If you've watched the previous ones, it does mean more. I think Marvel used to have films where you could just sort of step in and, so like a Winter Soldier. That's one of my favourites. You could just watch that as a film and you think that's a bad boy film.
Yeah, it's a bad boy film.
I think you mentioned earlier that Marvel's like quite corny or cheesy, and I think that's more of a recent thing in like the last 10 years or so. I say like those first phase 1 and 2 films, even bits,
3,
even bits of phase
3.
three.
Even like the Avenger films, they're not really corny.
No.
They're actually
which
heavy.
is
they got a lot of weight.
Do you know what's funny?
To them films,
which is such a crazy thing when you think of the fact that you got a Green Giant Man,
you
got a guy wearing a blue leotard suit, you got a guy wearing a robot suit.
Of corny,
you know what I'm saying? It's so corny, but together it felt right.
It's profound.
Because the humor they used were related to like the characters and their relationships, right? So like Cap and Steve, you know, in Age of Ultron when Cap says, I think Cap says language, and then Stark's like, "Oh, did you just say language or something?"
Yeah,
And they kept referencing that throughout the film. That's like the humor that relates to those characters. That's not just trying to make people laugh for the sake of it. It's like that is someone's personality. Rubbing off with the humor.
Because the Deadpool thing, like it was just bare dumb, bro. Like some of the jokes, like when you lot are talking about, I'm just thinking about, when are we gonna start?
You know what? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into spoilers.
So go ahead. Like, for instance, the scene where he just goes to the time place or whatever it is. He just gets TVA, yeah. And then they're putting him in a suit and they're just slapping his ass. Like, what? I can't lie, busting up. Like, it's so dumb though.
But this is what I'm saying. Those elements are the only parts of the movie that can land on a rewatch. Because things like the cameo scenes and I hate when they do this because they did it in No Way Home, where it's like they give it a pause for the audience because they know the audience is about to start clapping. And I felt it the second time I watched the movie where it's when all the cameras walk out, you feel like there's like a moment where it's like, someone should be cheering.
Everyone's getting there, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
50 minutes,
that kind of thing. And it's like, besides moments like that you just mentioned where it's like, the guy grabbing his ass.
And you know, like when he walks out and the guy is working is like, and he's like, who you calling? He's like, HR, like that.
Things
that's
like that.
Funny, bro.
Those are the only moments of the movie that will last in the rewatch. Besides that, everything else, a lot of the jokes especially, they're not going to land. Like things like maybe Hugh Jackman and his breakup and his divorce, things like that.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
That one got me.
In 10 years' time, you're not going to know about that.
What about you, Gon?
I think a lot of people have been complaining about sort of the cameos and stuff. And
That they were bad?
Okay.
Not that they're bad, but like
if we're getting
fan service thing, right? Like that's the whole complaint that I've seen is fan service. But like,
well, what's that?
Fan service. So you got two types of fan service. You got anime fan service, which is breast and bum, or you got comic book fan service, which is like, oh my god, he's here, he's back, she's back, they're back, whatever.
They're not dead. They're alive.
Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. When I see Blade come out, I shouted, bro. I shouted.
We went
a lot of people shouted.
I mean, I'll sit next to him, bro. We was losing our mind.
I was losing. I almost stood up. This brother had to kind of like.
Obviously, I'm sitting next to my girl. Yeah, I just see this guy come out. I said, "Oh my god!" She's like,
"Who's that?"
Yeah, she's like, "Who the hell was that?" But yeah, that was crazy.
Ryan Reynolds made with him though. Ryan Reynolds like, I think he said, "I'm the only Blade," and then Ryan Reynolds looked at the camera. That was
yes,
But yeah, I think the cameos made sense for the film in a sense of, as we said before, it's paying homage to the previous Fox films. And
yes,
you're saying that.
Oh, he's got the Blade socks. Oh, representing. Love that. Love that.
Sick. Like even seeing what we thought was Captain America and ended up being,
bro. Even that, when I seen him, I was gassed. And then when he did the flame on thing, I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, that was cool."
I think those cameos actually made sense, and it was probably one of the stronger parts of the film. Personally, I agree with your point though. Some of those initial ones at the start of the film in the void, where we see certain characters turning that didn't really serve a purpose to the film.
Even having Pyro in the trailer.
Juggernaut, and then all these guys had short shrift because they didn't have most of them didn't have a speaking line.
But bro, am I bugging out? Was that the original Juggernaut?
No,
it wasn't in it. It wasn't.
Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones. Yeah. Because when I was looking at my man, I was like, wait a minute,
who's that?
Who's that?
Exactly, because guys after our screening made the point. Goes, was Vinnie Jones busy?
Yeah. I already saw something. I already read something time ago that Vinnie Jones turned it down.
Okay. I think
he said one of the bigger parts. He said one of the bigger.
But I know this cameo probably no one cares about it. But there was a guy from X-Men, the Devil thing.
Azazel,
scary, bro. I can't lie.
Yeah.
What film was he in?
First Class.
Okay, because bro, I can't lie. When I seen him in that, I was scared, bro. It brought back memories. I was like,
but again, it's scary, bro. It's a good cameo. But again, it holds no weight to the movie.
And also that lizard guy.
Toad.
Yeah.
No movie.
But then,
weight to the movie.
If we're really spoiling shit, there was a few things that I was like, okay, first off, I didn't know my man had a sister, Charles Xavier.
Oh yeah. I don't think anyone would have.
But that's kind of
You know, really, no one would.
That's comic book stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't lie, when she said that, I was like, what?
Yeah. That one hasn't been like alluded to in any like.
And it's not really been explored in the medium of.
But this is what I'm saying about like it had so much potential because like That's just cold. Bro.
She could have been a very.
She could have done a Thanos thing.
That was my problem with the movie.
Do you know what I'm saying? She's evil, bro. When she came into the real world, she started moving nuts.
Yeah, I thought even the way that her powers are is mad creative as well.
Things what she did to was it
Paradox?
Yeah.
Bro, even when like she's got her hand in your head and stuff, and even when she's like, I have to get my hands dirty, and then she like wipes her hands like this, like as if she got something in her hand. Things like that I liked. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's a great character, but just
it's a waste of
it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
because she's
you mentioned
dead now,
earlier Age of Ultron.
So
Waste of Ultron, you know what I'm saying? Another great character, a waste.
James Spader, one of my favorite.
I actually think I don't know if it was a waste, but he could have. Ultron should have come back.
I mean,
we needed more than just that one film.
Yeah.
Because Ultron Spader was so good with the voice.
So good with the voice acting.
So yeah, I think with your point about Cassandra Nova, I think the acting from Emma Corrin.
Correct.
Really good. I thought they portrayed the character like really, really well, and I felt menacing, especially in the first act in the Void and so on and so forth.
Yeah. But as it got to the end,
but it just became like typical villain who didn't.
What do you think of a character arc overall? Because I thought
waste
it was
of
a bit
time.
Yeah,
it was a waste of time, and she died too easy.
but that's what I'm saying.
It was too easy.
That's that's my biggest gripe with the movie. The ending. The ending is my biggest gripe. Where it's
so rushed.
It's like not even the fact that it's just rushed. It's just the point where it's just like
it's predictable, isn't it?
These don't have to pull wherever they're pulling from the shit.
It's like
wherever they're pulling.
It's like an atom or some
that thing that they're pulling, and it's like she's in the other downstairs room shaking her head and do whatever, and then them two upstairs shaking their head and do whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is this, bro? Where's the actual fight between?
And also like somebody died. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
bro,
it has to mean something. But this is the fundamental issue where people are saying like this film didn't have any real stakes, didn't really have much to say. Because no one really dies. There was no like overall stakes. There wasn't really an out and out antagonist. There's kind of two kind of antagonistic forces in Paradox and Cassandra Nova, but nothing really testing and pushing our two kind of leads.
Yeah, because like I still think Infinity War is the best Marvel film.
Yep.
And Endgame is top tier as well. But those films, you didn't know what was gonna happen, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, it was scary to watch.
Had you on the edge of your seat, sort of thing.
Exactly.
This one you could.
This thing, I was like,
say
either they're both gonna stay alive
like,
or they're both gonna die. Like it's like one or the other, innit?
Yeah.
And then like, of course, right at the end, he's like he hits him on the head and he closes the door. Of course, he's gonna get through the door.
Oh
like,
yeah.
They should have just gone through together. Like, do you know what I mean?
I feel
it was just a bit like it was just corny.
That's my biggest. That's like I said. That's the biggest problem. No stake. Like even I keep getting this question a lot. Where people are like, "Oh, this movie was better than No Way Home," and I keep asking the same question.
Emotional
See,
stakes are higher.
I think he actually said it to me earlier. Actually,
I said it to you last night.
Yeah, he did say that to me as well.
Yeah.
But do you want to say? Yeah, go on, say it.
No Way Home, was broke.
Get ready for the bad take.
That film,
Yeah.
If there was no free Spider-Man in that film, no one would give a fuck about that film, bro.
You shut your goddamn trash mouth.
Okay.
I would disagree,
Honestly, bro, in my opinion, no one would care about that film. Of course, like, obviously the ending is kind of like the fundamental part where everybody forgets him, boom, boom, bow.
Yeah.
And the fact he lost his Aunt May.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we spent you spent 2.5 films with him
and
his
Aunt May.
aunt. Like that's
building that relationship.
That's probably like the main crux of the emotional stakes that drove him to where he got to the point where he was willing to do what he did to Green Goblin, and then obviously he needed his brothers to come and support. Yeah, that's the main crux of the story.
But everybody rates that film because of the free Spider-Man, not because
that just heightens it for me. But my
I
was already on maybe like a 7 because of the emotional weight of it. Like, and that's probably his for me. That's his most profound portrayal of the character.
That's one of the best movies in MCU for me personally, because again, like I said, I'm drawing the comparison between a lot of people keep saying Deadpool's better than
I think
No Way Home, but it's like, I keep asking the main question: what stakes were there in Deadpool? Oh, bro, the timeline, brother. What do you mean the timeline? Like the sacred timeline?
Do you think a film needs to have stakes to be better? Is it like
that's a good question.
Is it like a necessity?
That is a good question. I just, probably not. But I just feel like maybe just where we are in the MCU, I just felt like that maybe because when I walked out of the cinema, I was like, that was good, but I wanted more, or I expected more.
Because I feel like where Marvel's at now, for someone like me who's not so like clued up about it. Yeah.
Trust me, we're all the same.
I needed to watch a film where I felt like, oh snap, this could actually like bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Like make it good again.
Oh, so for you, it was that then? For you,
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. But Spider-Man definitely wasn't.
But the thing is, for me, I don't want a Deadpool type film to be the film
to bring it back
because that's just like a one-off spark. That's like we bring on a sub in the 90th minute and he scores a goal and
yeah.
But then like the Doctor Strange film, there were certain aspects of that film that kind of played a part in, I guess, what is it, the MCU?
The second one,
like
Multiversal Madness
timeline, right?
Yeah.
Am I bugging out?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
There's little.
Yeah, I mean, because
and then the Spider-Man film obviously plays a massive part in that as well. Yeah.
All multiversal, so it all interlinks for sure.
But then this Deadpool film, it didn't really play a part in anything.
It doesn't play a part in nothing.
Because he's not even the right Wolverine, I swear. The one in that world would have been dead.
Yeah.
Did they have a Wolverine? That's what I'm saying. I'm bare confused.
No, but they do. They had a Wolverine, but he was dead, innit?
So the MCU had a Wolverine. Is that what they're alluding to in the story?
Well, in that
Let
timeline,
me be so honest with you. As somebody that would like to think they're clean, I don't know.
Bro, that's
what I got from it, because they went to his grave, so he died, like
but that's a
in
different
Logan.
Earth.
Yeah,
that's a different.
That was Earth 1009 or something like that.
It's a different Earth to like the MCU one. So at that moment, MCU didn't have a Wolverine.
So in the Deadpool, in that world, the timeline that starts going down,
Yeah.
Is that what world is that?
So that's different to Earth 616.
Earth 6, but see, but even you saying
what
that,
the fuck?
because when he meets Happy Hogan, that's in Earth 616. It says it on the thing. It says
Yes.
Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're saying that he was
so that's his
originally
first. So that's him entering.
okay.
Yeah.
So he was in.
I don't know.
This is what I'm saying,
Oh
bro.
no, you're right, because he had to. Oh no.
Me and Gaz, we're
I
fucking out
thought
here.
it was on his Earth, because they said he's a legend.
To be fair, it's very, very. It's
No.
very intimate.
Wait a minute. I think it is that because he's saying, "Oh yeah, Wolverine. I idolize Wolverine." And then he went to the grave and he was dead.
But then, if you remember, in
that's the
Deadpool
Fox
1,
Wolverine.
in Deadpool 1, he makes a reference before in that scene, the maximum effort scene on the freeway. He makes an effort to, and he kind of alludes to Wolverine and stuff like that.
Even in the second film, he's got
he's got Wolverine on like a little.
the little.
So surely it's that same world, no?
I don't know.
So I'm saying.
We have to revisit
It's fair.
that.
We have to revisit that one.
And people want to say this movie is better than No Way Home. You don't understand it.
No, but No Way Home.
But what I wanted to say, you mentioned like, you thought this film would be the one to bring it back. The reason I don't want a Deadpool film to be the one, as I mentioned, like I want Captain America: Brave New World to be like a good 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Then I want what's it called?
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Give me like a 6, 7 because I'm not too sure in it.
Yeah.
I want Fantastic Four to be like a 7, 8. I just want some consistency in tone and consistency in quality.
As we
one.
But even that's what I'm saying. Even though the credits, like after the credits, I was thinking, okay, they might, because Doctor Strange, there was, I don't know the characters, but I know that it was important.
It
had Charlize Theron.
But who's the character?
His wife, or I don't know, Doctor Strange's wife at some point in the comics. I don't know her name.
Yeah, so that's like that was important. You needed to see that. But after this, what did they play after the credits?
But again, I think that's the point. This film isn't meant to be like Kevin Feige kind of lied to us and said, if Endgame is like if Infinity War's a 10 and this Endgame's a 9 in terms of importance, this is an 8. He was kind of lying. Like he was lying.
Of course,
but maybe
unless there's something to do with Wolverine or Deadpool,
I think
being
at a
an
stretch,
Avenger or something.
Do you know what it is? I think at a stretch, this is somewhat us transitioning into the mutant saga in a sense. Obviously, we won't get that fully until Doomsday. Oh, is that spoilers?
So what is this?
No, not at all.
Until Doomsday.
I guess it's the introduction to the mutant saga.
Yeah,
mutant saga meaning what is
X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're still Infinity Saga was done. This is multiverse saga. Trash. But the whole thing has been useless,
bro.
And I think that's why there were so many multiversal jokes, because they're aware at the end they kind of need to get to a point of where we get to sequels and Doomsday
and step away.
And then we've got our Mutant Saga and we've got Fantastic Four.
So the Mutant Saga has got nothing to do with the MCU.
It will be.
It will be the
MCU
because basically Disney just acquired Fox.
Right.
So now they've acquired Fox. Th've now got all the rights, majority rights to the main characters. So hence why you got Blade. Hence why you got Gambit. That's why you're gonna have Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You're gonna have all these characters, Silver Surfer, all these characters now. These influx of characters will now come to the MCU.
But obviously, it's I would say it's very hard to have like the Avengers and then F4 and then you got mutants. So
but
I
that's
think,
go.
and that's why I think the Mutant Saga will be a separate thing from this because although in comics you can bring all these characters together, for like the medium of film, that's a tough ask to have all those in one world.
What film was it? I'm bugging out in my head. I think it was Doctor Strange. I might be wrong. What film was it where they go to like, somebody's like getting done by like a government, and then it's the Fantastic Four guy. It's the
the Illuminati.
Yeah. What film was that?
Oh, that was Doctor Strange.
Multiverse of
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah. But they're from different. From the multiverse.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why, like,
because even that was sick to watch. Because I was like, damn, these are like different characters there. But then they just got wrapped instantly again, bro. Like,
again, I don't even know what was happening with that movie. I think that movie had bad potential, by the way, as well.
It did. Sam Raimi, I had high hopes. But what I
was gonna say was going back to the Fantastic Four thing, because that Fantastic Four movie was coming out next year is set in like a 60s dystopian, you know, like the Jetsons.
Yes.
So it's set in one of those like futuristic but classic kind of universes, and it's in another universe. So that's how they're probably going to get everyone. Tomorrowland. Yeah, exactly that. That's how they're going to get everyone into the 616.
Yep. So just before we kind of go into all the cameos, I just wanted to kind of go back to a point you made earlier about stakes. And does a movie need stakes? And I think that's a good question to ask. And for me, it's not. A great story doesn't really have to have like kind of like the crazies of stakes, but as long as the character is moving the story forward through their actions and the character has agency, that is what a story can be. You know what I'm saying? Like a story doesn't have to have the world is going to end, stuff like that. It can be a very
those are stakes to me isn't.
I know. But I just because you made a good point there, and I like for me it doesn't have to have stakes, but this film had such a lack of stakes, and the fact that the characters were devoid of much agency because they just felt like they were just going through the motions.
All they did that whole film was just fight each other, bro.
Yes,
and no one died
because they can't die, and that's.
But it was just so like bro, I get it, bro. Like,
I think you know what
I wanted to see at least like. I wanted to see the flashback of all the X-Men getting killed, bro. Like, I wanted to see why he was so twisted.
You know what? That's what made Days of Future Past such a sick movie.
Unbelievable film.
You know what I'm saying? Because the beginning of Days of Future Past starts with the death of like how many of the Bishop and all these other X-Men, they all die right in the beginning. How the Sentinels come and like end everything.
That film was so good.
And that's how Wolverine getting sent back into the past, and that's how that was the stakes already. We now know the stakes of the movie already.
Right.
Now going into this movie, they're like, oh my god, it's the timeline. But then besides that, it's like there's never like
there's no show of the timeline.
There's never like riffs like in the rip of the universe. Like, oh shit, this is happening right now. We got this much time to get this sorted out.
Do you know I rate Days of Future Past? And you mentioned it, and it's something I just spoke about with like bringing all characters together. Like that's quite a heavy. We spoke about it the other week, isn't it?
We
did.
The
huge ensemble cast thing, like when you got the Patrick Stewart X-Men mixing with like James McAvoy and Fassbender and all them lot, Magneto, etc. Like they managed to make that story so cohesive.
My man goes to my gym.
Oh yeah.
With Fassbender?
No, James.
Oh word.
Yeah. Nice. I've never spoken to him. I'm too
scared.
Big him up still. Big him up still.
So they're able to bring all those into one film and have the stakes is very impressive.
But that's why like Infinity War. This is crazy, but it's top 5 films of all time for me, bro. Because there's so much that happens in that film, bro. Even from like Infinity War's where Iron Man like is on the spaceship, right? And then Spider-Man is on the spaceship with him, right?
Him and Strange,
right.
Together.
So like even shit like that, bro. Like that's a whole nother story in the story, bro.
It takes.
And that's why the film is so good because there's so many. Because you're saying riffs in the universe. There's so much shit happening in that film, bro.
But that's what
I'm saying. I
think it takes a certain caliber of director to handle a movie where you have multiple. Not actors, but multiple.
But surely, if you're doing like a Marvel film here, they have to be at that caliber. Because the new 4 films, I ain't even watched them, bro.
4.
Yeah,
you're not missing out on the last one.
That's what I'm saying. Because when he says that you ain't missed out, I know I don't need to watch it, innit?
But that's what I'm saying. Like I think not like I said, not handle a big cast of actors because anyone can. I mean, you got Fast and Furious, you got bare big actors in that. You know what I'm saying? But what I mean is like when you trying to handle a cast that all have individual stories that go back 2 decades, you know what I'm saying, to handle all of that and put that into one movie, especially with Deadpool Wolverine, where you got some of these characters who 20 years or 25 years of you know what I'm saying, story to try to put it into one movie, and it's just not working. You get me? I understand, but that's a short.
What they tried to do is they tried to Deadpool's universe is is gonna sort of collapse and come to an end. Wolverine lost all his other X-Men, and he's down in the dumps. Those were what they tried to make the stakes, but because there wasn't enough storytelling about Wolverine's sort of trauma in the past, it was just
that would have been good, if they went back into that.
That's what I'm saying.
I think if they can't, when he's walking through past the tombstones and Cassandra Nova's like, everything that you've done and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I feel like if they concentrate on that, it could have been.
You know why
I
don't think they did that? Because Deadpool ain't serious. It's not a serious film. I don't think it can hold that amount of seriousness in it.
So, that's a very good point.
And that's just because I haven't seen the second one, but I just know because they'll just try and make a joke out of everything.
Everything, yeah.
And it's just like, bro, his whole family got massacred.
Yeah,
and he was a reason for it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been able to hold that amount of weight.
I think they alluded
that's
to
why,
a lot of good
Endgame,
things,
Endgame's a sad film, bro. It's actually sad, bro. And there's so much weight to that film.
Much PTSD.
But they can carry that weight because there's so much shit going on. But Deadpool, I just expect my man to say some dumb joke or
it's hard to find a tone.
Exactly. That's why even he's in love with that girl, but even that's kind of brushed off,
Even that,
and then she falls in love with him again. I'm like, what?
Even that,
this is too easy, bro.
I was a bit shocked about that because even in the first ever trailer, you could see that she was calling him Buddy, innit? Is it Vanessa her name? Is it?
Yeah.
She's like, Buddy. Everyone's like, oh wait, they're not together no more because obviously he brought her back.
Yeah.
In the second movie, she dies, innit?
You're right,
He brings her back from the past, whatever.
Through Cable, right?
Yeah, through Cable's time machine kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought there was gonna be a story with that, a story with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's, all that kind of arc.
Yeah. But no, they didn't want to do that.
They just kept it just fun. It was just non-stop fun.
Maybe that's just what they needed.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, look, who am I, bro? It's mad numbers right now. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you go and you look at Logan, that film was heavy as fuck.
Logan was mad.
Logan was so good, bro.
With
and
that,
it was so deep.
In my top three, by the way, top three Marvel films, by the way.
No, but with that, it's because everyone knew it was going to be Hugh Jackman's last portrayal of the character. So we knew that they were going to give everything they could to Logan. Hence why I got
Logan?
Yeah, because that was supposed to be the last time he ever played.
But then capitalism.
But then how many? But that's what I'm saying. So how many times are they going to be like, oh yeah, that's the end of it, and then they bring it back?
Yeah,
it's just like, bro.
That's also a directional choice. Like Mangold, definitely made an intent. James Mangold's the director of Logan.
Yeah,
he definitely made a very clear and conscious decision to somewhat separate it from what you deem to be an X-Men superhero comic universe.
Didn't feel like
that. A lot of people that didn't like Logan.
Yeah.
And when people say that to me,
I don't know anyone that didn't like
that.
No,
that's a cold film.
I'm like,
cold film.
They're like, I didn't like the film because it didn't feel like a superhero film. Go on.
Sorry to butt in. He don't like the new Batman, but I loved it.
Batman's cold.
Batman is cold, bro.
The Batman.
But you know why? I saw your video on my feed recently. I wanted to dislike it.
Bro, I get killed on everything for that one.
I love that because if you were to look, so for instance, I'm obviously not as clued up as you, man. That's all. But I'm gonna say my opinion,
Yeah.
If you look at DC, when I think of DC, I think of Watchmen, innit?
Yeah.
Because that's my favorite DC film.
A lot of people
other than Dark Knight Rises, It's my favorite
that.
DC film because my pops loves that film. I loved it when I first watched it. It's bare dark, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking. It's almost creepy, right? And then you watch the new Batman, To me, that's what Batman should be. Right. I just wish.
And the detective aspect as well, innit?
Yeah, but I just wish it was my man, Bale. I wish it was Christian Bale instead of Robert Pattinson in that space.
Okay.
I wanted it to be because my man's not even hench. He's not even hench.
Other than
that's
we're gonna listen. Let's not divert because I could talk about the Batman all day. Seriously,
it's cool. I don't want to get into that.
But do you know what I'm saying?
I know why you don't want to get into it.
In my eyes, that's how Batman should be perceived, isn't it?
Is that how you like superhero storytelling?
You like real stories.
No.
And then the superhero aspect is like
because for instance, I love the Joker film because in my eyes I didn't look at it like, oh, this is going to be an action film, it's going to be a drama film, right?
Yeah.
It was a great way of showing him as a twisted character. But Heath Ledger is how the Joker should be.
Okay.
That's how the Joker should be. Christian Bale in the Robert Pattinson Batman is how Batman should be.
What? You mean Robert Pattinson?
No, Christian Bale, but in the new Batman film.
I get you.
That's how Batman should be in my eyes.
Fair play.
Do you think your issue with proper diverted? Is your issue with Rob Pat's Batman or Rob Pat's Bruce? Because I don't think I thought Rob Pat's Batman was actually good, In terms of like a year 2 Batman, that kind of makes sense for the portrayal of the character.
I know what you mean because.
But the Bruce for me was
what
the
do they? How do you man say it? Like the arc? Is that? Am I using this in the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
way?
yeah.
Like he's very like. You could tell he's got something to prove it. Like he's
because he's the
He's
young
very
Batman.
dark.
He's
and
the
like,
early days Batman.
Yeah. So
It's just it was
he
a bad
does it
movie.
well. I just think like it sounds mad, but like Christian Bale looked like a Batman.
So physically.
Like physically. Because who was the other bro?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Whack.
All right, guys, let me steer us back into
Bring us back.
Deadpool Wolverine. And before we get into the cameos, just want to talk about the performances of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Now, Ryan Reynolds, for me personally, I've never rated him as an actor. I felt like he's been very, very one note. The fact that Hollywood was trying to push him as a kind of like as a heartthrob, as a guy that was the main guy in rom-com, stuff like that. And then obviously him finding his niche and finding his corner in Deadpool and how much success he's had for it. You have to give him credit for that. But I think Hugh Jackman is a fantastic actor, classically trained. I think we spoke about this on your podcast.
I'm gonna give you my opinion on that still.
And I think he brought gravitas to certain scenes, and it's something that I mentioned in my written review. Like I thought, like some scenes, like for example, the scene in the Honda Odyssey.
Are you talking about the scene when he breaks down to Deadpool and says he was just a waste of time?
Yes, that scene.
That scene was mad.
Yes, that scene, as well as obviously by the fire with Laura. You know what I mean? But that scene in the car just showed the range, showed the anger over it and stuff like that.
It did.
What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of the 2 points?
I'm gonna keep it a buck, yeah.
Oh no.
Here we go. Here we go, FD. Let's go.
I think he's an amazing actor.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Amazing actor.
Good man.
Amazing.
Showman.
But here we go.
I think him in this, if you compare this to Logan, yeah, I think it was like, in terms of acting, it was ass.
Damn.
Yeah. Because, again, the Logan film obviously is just about him, right?
Yeah.
This, it was just very like, maybe it was because of the character he had to play, like this depressed character.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
And also the tone of this film is
maybe
True.
Yeah.
But again, it was weird, yeah, because the tone of the film was comedy, but like he was just like, it was almost like a bit not GCSE, right? But it was almost a bit like, oh, I'm sad. I mean,
technically,
like, I hate you.
He's not even that Wolverine either. So maybe he's just acting as a different Wolverine.
That's a good point, you know. That's a good point. Like, imagine as an actor having to like put yourself into the mindset of the character in different kind of like universes.
I liked him as a character in the end. You know, like when they're by the door. And he's like, he was finally nice a little bit. He was like, oh yeah, you got family, and then he went to go do it.
They have an understanding for each other.
That's when I was like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, there's something here. Because the whole film I was just a bit like, all right, we get it. Like,
I hear you. What about you, Triz? Like, what about you, Triz?
I think acting wise, Hugh Jackman was cold. I think amazing personally. I can't really put any really fault. I can't think of any faults wrong with his actual acting.
Yeah.
But like I said, that scene in the car where he does break down to Deadpool and he's like, "You're just wasting time. Like this is why this person left you. This is why."
I still think he could have been like more angry.
No, but
because if you look at him in other films, like he can do
there's
that.
There's a point where he goes.
I don't really believe
from this, to this. To the point where he like gets down and sticks it up into the roof of the car. He's that angry when he's like expressing how angry he is about how what a disappointment Deadpool is.
Have you got nothing to say? Mouth?
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, and then he's like, we're gonna fight right now, something like that. That was one of my other problems where they're just like these are scuffing again. You know, what
scuffing it again.
Yeah, I just didn't really feel it, man. I can't lie.
But besides that, like I said, acting wise, I can't really put anyone in the movie actually.
I mean, him as an actor, of course, he's amazing. But I just mean like in terms of like what the acting did for me, I just didn't really feel that.
Again, maybe
like I can tell he's angry, but I was just like, I wasn't really like.
I think it's a tone thing. I think because it's like you're balancing seriousness as well as a lot of.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think you can bring that to that type of film, innit?
Yep. Guys, what are you saying, bro? What do you think about performances?
Yeah, I think he brought like the sort of stoic, like angry sort of tone, which I think was a necessary sort of balancing act with what Deadpool is. Like Deadpool's like so grand and over the top, and you got the meta humor, the meta commentary, the fourth wall breaking. Like I think he was a necessary balancing act. Whether balancing act works like for yourself, I can understand if it didn't. Yeah. I think he was necessary for that because it who used the word gravitas? You?
Yeah.
It brings that.
I didn't use that word. I'll tell you that.
it brought that because otherwise this would have just been like a one-note film. Yeah. And I actually got a bit tired of some of the whole Deadpool Ryan Reynolds of it at times.
Yeah, same. That's why I watched the second.
Not to the point where it's like I didn't like the film, but it's just like if you had 2-3 more of those, and I would have been like, I don't know how much I like this film.
Yeah.
But because you got like the whole Wolverine of it, and if anything, I would have liked for the film to dive more into him.
Yeah.
I know this is a Deadpool film first, so it is what it is.
I think
I just find Wolverine more of a compelling character as a whole to dive into.
I think the film did way better because it had more characters in it. If that makes sense.
What then? Just besides
And
them two?
just Deadpool.
That is a great segue, FD, for us to, before we end, to go into the kind of cameos. Let's talk about the cameos. What were your favorites?
Yeah.
What are ones that you didn't care for?
Yeah.
Just your overall thoughts.
You know I'm gonna be waiting on this. I'm about to make a name for myself.
The accent was mad. I don't know if you did that.
I was trying to work out what
I'm about to make a name for myself.
Because obviously it's meant to be New Orleans, kind of Bayou, kind of.
But bro,
kind
they
of
don't
talk like that in
the
New
French
Orleans.
Quarter, kind of
A lot of
thing.
people.
Ain't like Moneybag Yo and them from New Orleans.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yes,
They all like their R's, innit?
Bro. Oh, bro. Yeah.
Meredith.
Yeah.
But
Meredith.
he's also French. So I think like
He's French.
Yeah.
Wait, do what Gambit, right?
Yeah,
Not,
Yes.
yeah, not
Remy-
trying to take it.
Remy
You know
Lebeau.
what's really sad about that, is I didn't know much about the character, innit?
Well, Gambit.
Gambit.
Cold character.
One of my
Yeah, I didn't know
characters.
much about the
Cold
character
character.
yet,
Cold
but I
character.
see. I was on TikTok the other day and there was this whole edit I watched. It was like 5 minutes long of Channing Tatum talking about that character over the years, innit?
Yeah.
And then he finally so I'm watching it and they're saying, oh, it's going to be in his film. So then when I see him in the film, he didn't really get much time.
No, but you know what it is.
And then I was just like, that's what you waited all these years
No, but
for.
that one was the moment.
He was supposed to have a film.
Okay.
He was supposed to have it, but he didn't get given to him.
Because of the Fox, because when
There's no
when
way
Fox
in
were
hell I could
acquired
watch
by
a whole film with that accent.
You know what?
There's no way.
I can't lie. I feel like that was a Ryan Reynolds maybe.
joke.
Yeah, like, you know what? Try and play this as fucking stupid
Stupid
as
as-
you can.
yeah.
But do you know what's
Just try and
interesting?
be
People that are
hilarious.
from like that sort of Cajun Louisiana.
Yeah,
thing.
Louis-
A lot of
yeah.
people saying that. I read all the comments on TikTok and stuff. Innit?
Yeah.
People are saying like it's authentic.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Maybe I ain't heard enough
maybe
of
I
them.
haven't heard
I'll
enough.
send you some after.
Because, bro,
maybe I
I
haven't
felt
heard
like
enough,
he
bro.
changed that accent. Like, one time he was like more American. And
that's-
then there was like
that's because-
other points where I was like, what?
Maybe I'm
That
hearing
is the
too
point.
much
What
Channing
did you
Tatum.
say?
I think I'm hearing too much Channing Tatum in his voice. I think that might be my
I
problem.
hear you. That is the point though, because he's American, because he's French, because it's like the whole Cajun Louisiana French thing. It's like a up and down sort of scale thing in terms of his accent. So I get where you're coming from. The point makes sense.
I think, like I said earlier, the Blade thing.
Yeah, Blade's
obviously,
cool.
last time I watched Blade, I was a young boy, bro.
Yeah.
So when I
Same.
see him walk in, I was like, this is fucking nuts, bro. Because obviously, he looks older, innit? But like,
mean,
he
he's
still
61.
looks like Blade,
61.
though.
61.
He still
Looks
looks
good, bro,
like
yeah.
Blade, though. You get me? So I was like, what the fuck? And then the girl, what is her
Elektra.
name? Elektra.
Oh,
So
Elektra,
the
right.
thing is, I knew
Garner.
who she was. But you know, like when she walked in, it was like, it was like unlocking parts of my
the
brain.
core
like,
memories that just
She hasn't
movies.
aged, by the way, Jennifer. You know,
Good
I
Jennifer
couldn't.
Garner.
Yeah,
But
she looked
even
good,
like,
you know.
it's just, that's what I'm saying. She looked good, but she looked older though, way older. So when I see her come in, I was like, what the fuck? Because I forgot about her. And then it was kind of unlocking parts of my brain. And then when they go to fight or whatever, you're seeing all these like old people from all the X-Men films. And
That fight scene
I'm
was
like-
awful.
It was awful. Yeah, it
Awful.
was awful.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It was
Wasn't
a bad fight, especially the opening of it. It was poor.
Oh, what,
it
the
was
bazooka?
Yeah,
It just
Oh, mad.
It was corny.
What was the track that was playing? There was this.
Oh, I did like that. Did not like that at all, bro. I mean, it was
No,
like,
that-
bring him out or
hey,
something like that. Bring
hey,
him out.
if they-
Bring him out any day.
If there is one track though, because I was playing it this morning.
NSYNC, that's
Yeah.
how
Bye.
Oh no, not even that.
What?
Man. The end credits.
What, like a
The-
bread?
No, the fucking Green Day song, and they're playing all the old
Yes.
videos.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh,
yeah, the
okay,
montage.
Yeah.
bro,
Time of
that
your life.
shit's-
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
montage.
that-
The montage
yeah,
was
that was sad, bro.
was
I can't
really
lie.
sad.
When I was watching that, I was like,
That was
"Damn."
them saying goodbye to the kind of Fox era.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah,
also
man.
like,
Yeah.
it was. I feel like because I saw bare shit on TikTok. Yeah, even when I was watching that, bro, I just felt like a child, bro. Like
Yeah.
watching
It was
X Men
it was-
again,
it was
bro.
emotional.
Because I remember seeing these, like even Hugh Jackman, bro, he looking bare young, like grandma.
I
I
think
remember
he was
seeing the
like-
first
He
X
was like in
Men.
his 20s or something when he first started playing.
Yeah,
Wolverine.
bro,
You can see
that-
how-
yeah,
You can see
that
how
shit
much
was
it
like
meant
20
to him.
years
You can see how
ago.
much it meant to him being involved, especially because he was a novice at the time, in a sense, in comparison to like a Halle Berry who was like very
Oh,
experienced.
yeah,
But bro,
Like, he
even
was a novice when he first joined.
true.
the
even
franchise.
it was quite interesting because you lot are gonna hate me. My man who plays Captain America, what's his name?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. And then you see old videos of him. Yeah, it's interesting because you're looking at my man, then, and he wasn't a big name then, really. Like back then, when he first did Fantastic Four,
I couldn't
right?
even name you 3 Chris Evans movies, bro.
Right, so he wasn't even. He wasn't.
All just big with Captain America.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So he wasn't even a big name then, and then you're seeing videos of him then to who he is now. It's like, bro, this guy's fucking humongous, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's just mad to see those type of videos.
I'll go back to the initial question. My favorite cameo. This is gonna be Blade. I don't think there was a cameo. I don't think there was a cameo better than that. And even though Gambit was sick, obviously, because I can understand what it means to
the card trick.
Yeah, bro. What you know what I'm saying?
And
Bring
when
all
it
of that.
illuminated,
Yeah,
and
it was
he
cool.
threw it.
Even the staff, when he brings out the staff,
When
and
he
that,
threw out the bottle of whiskey.
it was not definitely. I think Gamble. I think the Gambit cameo, sentimental. Like I think I was like, oh, that's
It was
good.
nice,
It was good
It was
for you.
nice.
I appreciate that for Channing Tatum. Plus, I saw something recently where Channing Tatum was at 10 years ago when he was at Comic-Con. And then you know what I'm saying, they were all there for Deadpool.
That's probably the clip I've seen.
But then it was like 10 years later. Nice finally getting this chance. He gets to be on stage as
He
well.
was so happy.
He was mad happy.
so happy.
You can see what it means to him. So for that one, loved it. But the best cameo has to go to Blade.
Blade,
It just has to
and
be
he
Blade.
said that shit as well.
I
He
would
said
go-
there's only
go-
one Blade.
There's only one Blade.
I'd definitely go Blade
Yeah.
/ Gambit. I liked the Wolverine variants, if you can count those as cameos.
I was gonna say.
I did like
Yeah,
those.
they
that
were
was
cool.
Oh man,
They were
Henry,
cool.
my boy, that was cool.
Even that, because my girl was like, "Oh, who's that?" And I had to explain who it was, innit?
Yeah, I like
that
the-
was
I like the
so.
variants.
Why did they show that? Is that something I don't know?
No, but did you hear what he said? He was like, we'll treat you so much better here, or something like that.
He was someone that people like fans wanted to
as
be
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Okay.
After
He would be a
after-
cool Wolverine. I can't lie.
I think that
I don't know
was.
if he's got the
that was
acting
good.
chops though.
He could be a cool Batman.
What?
In
He's
comparison,
gonna start another.
He
war.
could be a cool Batman.
Batman.
that's
He
funny.
hench, bro.
That's interesting.
That's
He
funny.
hench, bro.
That's very funny. I don't think he'll go back to DC now.
He won't go back to.
I think there's only one Batman.
Why? Because they done him dirty with a Superman thing. Is that what happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I think the one that disappointed me, unfortunately, and she brought like kind of again the emotive stakes to the film was X-23 Laura.
Yeah.
It was like you bring back Daphne Keane after X-20 after Logan.
Can
like,
somebody explain who this is?
She was in Logan, the young girl from.
Oh,
Logan.
the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the
essentially
girl,
his daughter.
Yeah.
His daughter,
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, you bring her back, and the emotive part of it was good, but the action was non-existent.
That's what I'm saying. Because she was actually a bad man in the
see
Logan
Logan.
film,
Cold.
bro.
I mean, she did have a scene though. She
jumped
cut
on
off
someone.
Juggernaut's feet.
Yeah, but then
Needed-
she got
needed more
wrapped.
Achilles
bro.
is Achilles, bro.
But she got wrapped, bro. Literally wrapped around, bro. Like when she jumps up, I was like, yeah, finally, she's gonna do something. And then she got
I needed a
clapped
bit
off.
more.
I was like, this
That's
is
what
dead.
I think that's why when it comes to the movie, it's like the cameo wise, even though there was like sick cameos, it's like yeah, there was like I said, once you watched it once, it's like oh yeah, that was sick. After that, you're like all right.
But that's how I felt about Spider-Man.
Nah, for me, Tobey Maguire, bro,
Is it- oh,
Tobey
is that-
Maguire is the best Spider-Man.
look like a youth
No,
pastor.
he is, bro.
No, he's not.
Tobey
Look at you,
Maguire,
pastor, like-
bro.
That's
Tobey
funny, that's
Maguire,
He's
bro.
not, he's not the
He
best
is, bro.
Spider-Man.
He
Andrew
is.
Garfield,
Bro,
bro.
my
That
man- I just thought that, yeah.
He's not the best Spider-Man.
He is in my eyes.
Oh
Why-
no, the best Spider-Man. Oh, not the best Spider-Man. No.
We could do a whole
Who's the
nother
best
episode on
Spider-Man?
this,
We
guys.
done a whole nother
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, we're diverting. We're
Yeah,
diverting.
diverting.
Sorry.
Guys,
The
honestly,
cameos were great.
no, the
Yeah.
Blade, bad man.
yeah.
Enjoy them for sure.
But also,
100%.
he didn't need to do all that bazooka thing. That was whack.
That was mad.
They could have
Can't
just
lie.
drove. They could have just drove in there, bro.
I think you know what, you're right. I know you're not saying the fight scene wasn't good, but I think the fight scene was okay. I don't think the introduction to that fight scene was good.
Yeah.
I think bring him out driving there.
I think
bazooka,
also what
bombs.
was pointless was them 100 Deadpools. Pointless.
Yeah, that was another.
That was pointless.
Again, fan service, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Apparently, Blake Lively was Lady
Lady
Deadpool.
Nathan
Matthew
Fillion.
McConaughey was.
But that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
At least shot. Who,
Matthew.
who was Matthew McConaughey?
He was the
the cowboy one.
Cowboy Deadpool.
Yeah. Also the you know there was a Welsh Deadpool.
Yes.
That's one of the football players
That's a
from
striker
Wrexham.
for Wrexham.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland's brother was one of them as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Ryan Reynolds' daughter was Kid Deadpool,
Yeah,
Kidpool
yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, but again, if they don't take the mask off, you
that's
you
what
never
I'm
know.
saying.
Anyway.
No, who
like-
would care? You know what I mean?
I think it would have been cool if they did that. If they took the masks off and showed the people.
Or if they had a more of an individual scene, then it would have maybe.
And then my man, what's his
we'd be
name?
complaining
Peter.
more about cameos and cameos and cameos.
But then what's my man Peter? He just comes on with his
Hey.
balls all up in the suit,
oh,
bro.
Peter,
Just
man.
like, and then that's it. They all just didn't want to kill him.
Yeah,
Like
Peter.
it was all just a bit.
By
Like,
the way, there was like maybe like a 10,000 like I think something crazy like a Reddit kind of like comments thing, a thread about Peter and like what was happening with his lower region. I was thinking, yo, you guys are going crazy.
I'm gonna have to watch that again.
What's wrong with you guys?
I mean,
I know. You're okay.
I don't remember it.
His balls
you're
were
even
just
crazy, bro.
You're even crazy, Triz.
Fair enough.
And on that note, let's get these ratings, guys. And I mean, it's been an incredible episode. So I'll start with FD. What's your rating for this movie, bro? The STC rating. Out of 10. What are you rating this film?
So I can do a half as well.
Yes, you can, bro.
6.5.
Fair enough.
All right, damn.
Triz, what are you saying?
Sound like you liked it for 6.5.
No, I liked it for what it was.
All right, cool.
In terms of a whole Marvel, like we're talking about, this whole timeline, what you go watch, it was nowhere near up there.
All right.
But for a cool, funny cameo film, 6.5.
All right, cool. I'll give it a 7. I think 7. I've seen it twice.
Okay, 7.
7's quite high.
It's literally
It's like half
higher.
difference.
Half is a lot in the rating thing, bro.
For me, the first time I saw it, I think the high and the euphoria, I told you.
You had
7.
it like an 8. No,
No,
you, oh, 7.
I had 7, remember?
Okay.
But I said for the comic book and like the kid in me,
Yeah.
it was an 8. But as a critic, like I'd be remiss if I didn't give it a 7. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said to you.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
You're my witness, bro.
Yeah,
I did say it. And watching it again, like a couple of days afterwards, and like letting the story, like proper kind of like evaluating and like proper critiquing the story, and then writing my review, it's gone down to a 6.5, unfortunately.
Is it?
Yeah, that makes sense though. After a second watch, films always tend.
Come on.
For the most part,
I would never watch it again.
Really?
That's the answer, yeah.
I'll probably watch it
I
again with
wouldn't
my
watch
kids.
it
When
again.
I have kids, I'll watch it again. You know,
I wouldn't watch it again.
You know what I mean?
I
So-
but
don't
it depends
need
on
to
how
watch
much
it
you
again.
care about this shit. Like, I'd like.
But you don't. But you don't need to watch that again, though.
No, you don't need to. But you don't need to watch anything again.
Infinity War. You need to watch that to feel something, bro. Endgame. Those are good, solid films, bro. Even actually,
FD, let me land this shit, bro. Let me land this shit.
Sorry.
All right, so guys, thank you so much, man. This has been an incredible episode. We
Really
proper like chopped it up, like gone into detail, proper granular about it, kind of thing. And again, appreciate you guys. And for the audience, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff that Mo always says. And yeah, I mean, and
Housekeeping stuff.
of course, the housekeeping stuff. You know, we got to say all that stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.